Happy Saturday. I know every day is happy. Um, Happy Saturday. Today is July 25th. I hope you had a good week. Things are good over here. I have been trying to do housework whilst the boys are out of town, and the house, it doesn't even look anywhere near done, and they will be here in a few hours. And so, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I did go out for a walk. In fact, I walked to a mechanic's place because yesterday I went out to run errands, and my car, after I went to the African store, picked up my stuff, my car would not start. It wouldn't start, and then suddenly all of those lights, warning lights, are flashing and flashing, and the car won't start. Luckily, I do have like the towing or roadside assistance for my car insurance, so they came, they towed it, and I made them send it to a mechanic's place, so it's not far. So today I decided that my walk will be to there, and then I'll walk around. It was brutal. I was feeling so hot, but I made it. I mean, talk about unexpected expenses, right? But I'm thankful that it was in a parking lot in a public place. The last time this happened to me, like where the warning signs came on and the car stopped, I was in the middle of the toll road, coming from work, and that was in my old car, and the lights all came on and didn't give me much warning, and the car just stopped. So I am really grateful that this one was in a parking lot. I wasn't in anybody's like way because I had parked the car. So for that, I'm very grateful. Anyway, today I just wanted to give you a quick update on my health journey, because I finished my cycle of scans and doctor's visits and all that. I finished early this month. I started in May. So yeah, this time around, it always starts with a scan, like the PET-CT. Once the MRI had identified that the lymph nodes were growing, that was the end of it. It now was PET scan, and the PET scan is just to check how much activity is like going on. So it's a very different scan. They actually inject you with a radioactive material or whatever. Oh gosh, the things that go into your body, and then they are able to tell. And once again, the scan said that the activity has increased, and it was the same thing. They still thought it was the lymphoma. I met with my doctor, and she really wanted me to do the biopsy, and we agreed that if the biopsy will be done, then it has to be a full lymph node instead of they always just taking the needle. But it meant that it was more invasive. I had to have like a real like surgery, and the cut was quite big. But I told them that it's okay as long as we are able to find the correct lymph node. And so they did not play with it. I had to go in, an ultrasound done, and then the lymph node, like they said, they call it maxi, put on there so that the surgery can find the lymph node. So the long and short, it went to pathology, and for the first time, and I had been praying to God, please let them know what it is that this is, even if it is lymphoma, so that I can start treating. But they examined everything, and they said like there was no sign of lymphoma. I mean, that was the good thing. There is no sign of lymphoma, but the lymph nodes are definitely reacting. They gave it a name though this time for the first time. It's called. They said it's called progressive transformation of germinal centers, PTGC. That's what they said. It's a benign condition, and sometimes it can be caused by like an immune reaction. But the biggest thing was that it's not lymphoma, or lymphoma was not found. And for me, that is great news, because now my prayer is in God, reveal what this is, even though they still want to figure that out. But for me, it's God, let it stay this way, and just please help the lymph nodes to relax. I sometimes just think that, it's all the things that I have gone through, and that the body has like been in a fight kind of situation constantly. But what a big relief for me that was. I mean, for the doctors, it's still not an answer. And just for the fact that the lymph nodes are keeping on reacting, they're not like being stable, they are going to continue. So I'm going to go through the cycle in the next few months again. So it's kind of like bittersweet, because I need to continue to follow the doctors. Seem to still think that that's what this is. But for me, my prayer is, God, please let the lymph nodes, whatever it is, let it's not lymphoma, and let it not be. And Father, please help me. And so I have work to do to try and see if these lymph nodes would stop making all that noise. And after the surgery, I had to go back for my post-op with the doctor. I had like really bad swelling, and so when I went, I was talking to her about that. It's just like, yeah, it was bound to swell. The size of the lymph node that we took out was like this. She used her hand to come and do, and it's a little bigger than mine. But she was like, it's huge, and it wasn't. That was not even the only lymph nodes. That all the lymph nodes around there were not as big, but they were all really, all pretty enlarged. And so she had seen the pathology, and she was relieved, because she was of the impression that this was not good news. So God always is doing something. He's always working some miracle in my life. I wish I had full, nothing wrong, and then being able to like move on with my life. But I plan to still move on with my life. I'm just going to give a link of this preaching that really spoke to me. Sarah Jakes Roberts, she had this freak accident, and I mean, something that could have killed her or paralyzed her. And so she like, God answered, like they put a brace in, God answered that prayer, fixed it, like nothing happened. But then she wasn't out of the woods, there was something else. And it's just so much like she was talking about the fact that when God answers like prayer and doesn't answer some prayer, or like there is still some more for him to do, and having to believe through that. And she's been making like some videos talking about how this God is asking her to be raw in this moment, and it just validates what I'm doing, that I may not have got my answers, but God is giving me the strength to share with others what is going on, and then believing strongly that the God will fix all those things, the one who has always intervened, will do this for me. So for me, yeah, I don't have like 100% But I am celebrating that it is not lymphoma, and I am celebrating that these lymph nodes are going to stop. I believe that they are going to stop reacting to whatever they are reacting to. And for me, I'm just thankful. I am just thankful. But sometimes I also realize that sometimes when I'm praying that this lymphoma is healed. I've forgotten that, oh, I've seemed to have accepted the chronic pain. I seem to have accepted the high blood pressure, and I don't know why. And so I've become conscious of it, and I know that I need to pray about them as well, just as much as I pray to not have this disease. Um, I'm just thankful right now, and I choose to stay in that state. Whenever we start again, we will go through the process. But I believe so much that there is never going to be lymphoma found, and I'm not trying to deny reality. I really believe that. But even if that's not God's will, I'm okay with whatever His will is, and to just keep on moving day at a time. Um, yeah, I think walking today in the midst of that weather and not knowing what route I was walking in, I showed up for myself. I hope you've been able to do so. If not, it's really not too late. God is not done with you yet. Our God is not done with us yet. Have a blessed weekend and week.